Hello, friends. So yesterday caught I got nerd sniped into adding streaming to my website so that I could use deferred on something. If you didn't see that already, then check out my last live stream because it was pretty epic. It was only 8 minutes long because I just showed the demo. Today, one of the things I had to do was disable nonce because I didn't think that React had nonce support for streaming. It turns out that it does. But defer still doesn't, so that's an ongoing issue we'll have to figure out. But I'm able to kind of hack something to make that work. But I've been getting this hydration warning on my script tags for nonce support, and it's really annoying. So I'm going to debug that right now. So one thing that I found that's kind of interesting is that in some cases, the nonce goes away, and I think the case is when the nonce that you provide doesn't match the nonce that the server is saying it needs, maybe. That's possible. But here's like a really simple server that's not doing anything, doesn't have a CSP, and the nonce stays put. If I do this in JSBin, the nonce also will stay put. So initially I was thinking, oh, well, maybe this is just a thing that browsers do. They just remove the nonce. But now that doesn't appear to be the case. Now I think the browser will remove the nonce if, I don't know. I'm not sure when it would remove the nonce. Here I've got the debugger stuck in where React is hydrating, and it's checking or getting the value of attributes from DOM nodes, and here the script has an empty nonce, but that is not what I server rendered. Even if I server render and I go nonce, I'm seeing the nonce on all of my script tags. I go script, I have 5 script tags, and nonce, script nonce, I have 5 script tags with a nonce, and all of them have the same nonce. I don't know how they could have anything else. One thing I haven't tried is making sure that the nonce that we're getting in here matches what we have in here. And yes, indeed, I've got 6 of them. Oh, right, because one of them's in the data for hydration, because hydration is awesome. No, just kidding. It's not, but it's the way things work, and it's fine. So that can't be it. I am uncertain in what situations the nonce is going to get removed. Yeah, I don't know why it goes from having a nonce to not having a nonce before hydration happens. My guess is that React is doing something as part of the hydration process. Oh, actually, you know what? We could test that really quick. I've already done this. But yeah, if we comment this out and then refresh, then play along. Now if we look for everything that has a nonce, all of these do, and the nonce is cleared. So React isn't doing it. At least it's not doing it when during hydration. If here, actually, you know what? I could probably even make it so React doesn't show up on the page at all. Just updating my centered so that I don't forget to take breaks. Okay, so if I go here, script, yeah, so we take that off. Now we do still have nonces for other scripts, but we don't have even, like, React isn't even on the page now. If we look for JS, we've got both of these are coming from my DevTools, which I suppose I should consider also. Yeah, we're not even loading any JavaScript now, and the nonces are cleared. So I'm not sure what's clearing the nonce, but it doesn't seem to be React. It's certainly not me. But something is clearing the nonce, and that is triggering Let's go back to hydration. That's triggering this to warn for prop difference. And it's really annoying also. So I want to, you know what I want to do is figure out which of the elements it's warning on. And yeah, because that might help me figure out who's the culprit here. Maybe the fact, like, actually another thing I noticed is that Twitter's not distracting me. Twitter also has, what? That's hilarious. I just opened up the dev tools on centered. That is so funny. And now I can't close them. Oh, that is hilarious. What? Okay, we're gonna, here, if I hit pause, then the thing should come up. No, man. There, good, got it. Oh, that's hilarious. I'll have to show that to my friends over at Centered. Okay, so coming back. Yeah, so Twitter has nonces, of course, on all of its scripts. But if I open up the DevTools and I say, hey, get me all of the scripts that have a nonce, I feel like I'm saying, oh, yeah, here's one. And it's cleared. So it's not like I'm not doing anything special or weird. This is just a thing that happens. I wonder if we go to google.com, I'm sure they've got scripts with nonces. Yeah, there's a nonce, and theirs still has the nonce. That is, yeah, so I don't know. Here, I better not show the response headers on stream because some of y'all might want to steal my Google stuff. But I'm going to just look at, yeah, there's a bunch of set cookies in there that I wouldn't want you to see. I'm looking for their content security policy. Huh. They don't have one. There's no CSP header on this response. What? There's some set cookies. Yeah, I have no idea. That's so odd. Well, so since they don't have a nonce, maybe that's the problem. Let's try going to another place that probably should have a nonce. Let me look for, okay, so this one does have a content, I'm looking at Google Drive. It does have a content security policy, and I'm seeing scripts with nonces that have been cleared. That, I'll betcha, this makes sense. I actually always wondered, I was like, what good is a nonce if the value of the nonce actually shows up in the document? Okay, so this is enough for me to test out a theory that I've got, and that is I'm thinking that if the server sends the nonce in the header, the browser will get rid of the nonce from the rendered HTML. The thing that I don't understand is why React doesn't account for this if that's just the way that it works, because that would be very, very odd. That's just not a thing that anybody has brought up with the React team. So anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to make a nonce test directory here. We're going to open up in VS Code, and we're going to do the most basic, super simple JS server. There we go. Just grab this, stick it right here, index.js, and then I say no dot, and boom, it is listening on port, actually a random port, and it's not going to tell me. Port 3000. Oh, there's already a port 3000. Okay, port 333. And there's our hello world. Okay, so now, let's see, I've got my demo. Oh, super simple distributed, yada, yada, yada. We're going to borrow this. This stuff right here. And stick that right there. And nonce test. Okay, so then we have a script with a nonce. Yeah, sure. Console log, hello world. Okay, so we save that, and that nonce should definitely, okay, we gotta restart the server. Oh, you know what? Check this out. Watch. Bam. Oh, man. Oh, res is not defined. Yeah, restarting. Heck yeah. Okay, cool. So now we look at this. The nonce is still there because I failed to check my copilot. There we go. So there's our nonce. Awesome. It shows up, and then as soon as I extract this nonce, okay, still there. Boom. As soon as I extract this to a variable and say res set header, yes, that. Thank you, Copilot. My goodness. Boom, it's gone. That's it. I bet I could find that in the spec somewhere, but that is crazy to me. That blows my mind. I'm going to turn this into a tip. Why not? Okay, so how are we going to do that? We'll do this. I have two. I am a bad script from a bad extension, Chrome extension. You know what occurs to me? That the reason the browser does that is so that nobody can make a Chrome extension that just reads the DOM, and if you got a Chrome extension though, you can already execute arbitrary scripts in the context of that browser, I think. I need to sneeze. It's coming. I guess it's not coming. It might come later. Yeah, so what are the scenarios? Because like even with a nonce, like Twitter's got a nonce, I can still say console log whatever and it works. So they're not protecting from people like putting in their own scripts or like copy pasting scripts into the console. They would be protecting cross-site scripting. So like if I say yeah, so here actually let's do my bad script document create element. Ah, man. I get used to being lazy. My bad script, inner HTML alert. Gotcha. And then document body append my bad script. And it refuses to do that because no safe inline. So I'm trying to think. I guess that would be a cross-site scripting thing, probably. Like if there was a cross-site scripting vulnerability on Twitter, and I tweeted my script tag my bad script, and then it shows that, it wouldn't evaluate it because it wouldn't have the nonce, and there would be no way for me as a user of Twitter to have my script first look up what the nonce is. I guess you wouldn't even be able to run the script. I'm not sure what, like, I can describe the behavior, but I can't think of how to exploit the problem. Because once you've got a nonce, you cannot execute JavaScript unless you have access to the console, in which you can, and you don't need the nonce anyway. And then what the heck they got this non-CSP script ID thing for? I wonder. I don't know. Or if you've got a Chrome extension, then you can, or browser extension, then you can just run arbitrary JavaScript anyway without nonce. I think that JavaScript doesn't have access to anything but the DOM. That's what it is. So the DOM is all that script has access to, and it can insert stuff into the DOM, but if it doesn't have the nonce, then it can't insert scripts into the DOM with the nonce. So if the browser put the nonce attribute in there, then a bad Chrome extension could read the nonce from the DOM and then create a new script that has that nonce and insert it into the DOM. But because it can't do that, and then from that script it could read like private data and stuff like that. That's like in JavaScript stuff. But because it can't do that, all it can do, it could insert a script, but it wouldn't run. And all it can do is just like mutate divs and whatnot. So here's the trick. The unfortunate bit here is that the way that things have to work with the nonce, yeah, this is a bit of an issue. With hydration, I wonder how they avoid this on Twitter. So where's the nonce? Nonce. So if I search for this, okay, we've got 13 of those, and we've got 10 scripts. So where's that nonce hanging out? That's on a script. That's on a script. That's on a script. 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 That's on a link. Okay. As script. Oh, interesting. Yeah, just for preloading. I didn't realize you needed a nonce for preloading scripts. Today I learned. That's probably what the rest of these are. And I presume that those also have the nonce hidden. So if we say link, yeah, the nonce is removed. That is sensible. So, yeah, that's interesting. So how, because the way that I'm doing it right now, where is my app? Here we go. I think what we're going to have to do is suppress hydration warnings. I mean, that's what this does anyway. So we go, let's see. What are you complaining about? It's no longer relevant. What? No. How is it no longer relevant? You're creating a script. Is it because you think that people don't need to use nonce locally? Okay, I'm gonna go ask that on Discord. Oh, I just realized I have Discord open. Or I haven't had Discord open. So we got wild cryptographer for security. Oh, whoops. Probably being helpful. For security reasons, the nonce content attribute is hidden. An empty string will be returned. Nonce hiding helps prevent attackers from exfiltrating nonce data via mechanisms that can grab data from content attributes like that. Okay, yeah, that's helpful. Thank you. Probably could have saved me a little bit of time. I joined the thread, so it should be... Oh, right, because I've already read it. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to go over to here. Instead of asking why, let's go see if I can answer my own question. Remix. We're going to look at pull requests that are closed and involve live reload nonce. This is where we added them. Maybe there's a link. Yeah, people may be getting that. I remember this. All right, let's go instead to React components. And how do I do blame? Yeah, here we go, blame. Oh, here it is. Oh, Oh, that's right. This was changed, and then it was changed back, I think, and the deprecation warning was not removed. I'm thinking that's what's going on here. Yeah. So that, let's find this PR. Man, my Better Touch tool isn't working. I don't know how to function. Okay, we're gonna edit this right here. Nope, not in main. In dev. Okay, and then deprecated. Okay. No longer get deprecated. Live reload. undeprecate nonce. Is that how you spelled undeprecate on live reload? It used, it was required before, or necessary for CSPs before, then it was no longer necessary thanks to this, but then it became necessary again when I think this happened, or maybe this one. Let's see. April, and then yeah, that's right. Okay. Where's my, when this PR was merged, but the deprecation warning was never removed. Okay. Here we go. And coming back to here. All right, let's get a nice clean screenshot of this. Until this is released, people will get this in their editors. Okay, cool. There we go. Did my duty there. But coming back, I'm pretty sure that the solution to my problem is just to make sure all of my scripts have suppress hydration warning, which is to say I should also look up, man, that's so annoying, Facebook React issues, nonce hydration warning. There's literally not a single issue that comes back for the nonce hydration warning that is relevant here. Yeah, I've looked at these before. Custom element property support behind a flag. Let's see what that's. It's probably hidden behind some of these, yeah, like 33 hidden items. Yeah, it could be in here somewhere, but basically impossible to find. Okay, new issue. Okay, we've got to make a simple bug report, the simplest thing imaginable. So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to client JS. And then we're going to say Here, back this up. Oh man. That's what I wanted. Okay, make sure this still works. Oh, right, forgot. Port. Okay, so the nonce is there. There we go. And I forgot to turn on watch mode. Nonce is gone. Cool. So now we're going to say let's see. Div ID app. Heck with that. We'll do this whole thing with React elements. Const React equals require React. Heck with that. Let's do ESM. Whoops, that was a mistake. Type module. Okay, so now import HTTP from HTTP. And can I, whoopsies. Import star as React from React. Import, yeah. Yes, thank you. See if that works at all. Okay, cool. So now I say const yeah, HTML register string React create element HTML. Yeah, here I've got an idea. Forget all this. Who's gonna write that themselves? Not me. Babel js.io. Where's the try it out? Compile this thing for me, Babel. And preset, no, presets, React. Semicolon, what? Why is this not working? I'm sure I'm missing something silly. Unexpected token, comma. Well, what happened to the whole React preset stuff? Automatic. Well, boo. I don't want to have to write this myself. Fine, I will. All right. I won't write it myself. Ha ha ha. Still works. Nice. Except this needs to be dangerously set inner HTML. HTML is this. Dun, 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 says hello world. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's see. This will simply export const app. did not like that. Huh. Oh, app.js. And oh, right, nonce. Man, okay, fine. Export function app nonce. Okay, and so now this is capital app. And we need import React star as React from React. React create element. Yep, create element. Yes, that is exactly what I want. We've got an extra parentheses. Sweet. Okay, that did not quite do what I wanted it to. Huh. That's weird. Oh, there we go. Try that on for size. There we go. And we got the hello world. Sweet. All right, so then we also want our client to import app from app.js and import React or unpackage how do we do this? We could probably just import it from node modules actually. So import React star as React from node modules React this will probably not work. I don't think this will work. Yeah, I don't think they publish ESM. Rats. This will be harder than I thought. ESM React. There we go. So not the slash server. Hydrate root. And instead of math.random, we do some. Okay. So this is the tricky thing. The client can't know what the nonce is. So what the issue that I'm trying to raise is that my client-side JavaScript code cannot know what the nonce is. Otherwise, other nefarious JavaScript could figure it out too. Because the only way that my client-side JavaScript can know is if I send it in the JavaScript. So I suppose that the JavaScript could be kind of generated with the nonce in place. but each request is going to have a different nonce. Like even on Twitter, in fact, they might not even send a nonce in their scripts. I think I do, because I don't really differentiate. I don't know. Let's see what happens on can'tseedodds.com. So we look at this. I still have the content security policy on there because I didn't care to differentiate. I probably should. But yeah, so this will have the CSP on there. And so it, like, we could generate a JavaScript file so that the nonce only lives in JavaScript memory and there's no way to access it. So that seems like the only way to do a nonce that allows you to hydrate with the nonce. And so I think that my solution, rather than I just need the nonce for the server render. I should not send it in the data. This is a very interesting problem. It wouldn't be so hard to implement. So what I'm thinking is, okay, so in my components, I render undefined basically in the nonce position, but on the server I'll render some sort of like fixed string, and then before I send it to the client I do a find replace for that fixed string to be the actual nonce. And so then when it's hydrated, there's no nonce because the browser hit it, and hydration is fine, and we don't need to suppress warnings or anything. The problem is that I'm streaming, and so I'm not dealing with strings. And even if I understand it right, this is going to be sent in chunks. You could get a chunk that includes half of a script tag. So you couldn't even say, okay, I got a script, so let's fix the nonce or whatever. That wouldn't work. How do you solve this problem? Okay. I don't know. So let me think. Who needs to do something to change something for this to work? For one, should the React team warn about hydrating a nonce? Probably, because you should not hydrate with the nonce. So I think it would be worthwhile to open an issue on React and say, instead of just saying you hydrated with the nonce, let's additionally explain that you probably shouldn't be able to hydrate with the nonce. Sorry if that sounds really annoying. So let's start there. Facebook React. There we are. So I'm going backwards. I was going to say yeah. I was going to say it shouldn't warn about the nonce, and now I'm saying not only should it warn, but it should actually explain that you shouldn't be able to hydrate with the nonce. Okay. Create an app with a CSP. I should probably finish my example, I guess. Okay. It's break time. I'm going to think about this over the break. And when we come back, we will work through it some more. See you in a bit. whoops. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to think if it's actually worthwhile to have an example of this, or if it's sufficient just to explain the problem. I think maybe it's worthwhile to have an example. So we're going to need this. See if that works. Oh, well, that's too bad. All right. Export get app React. Haha. There we go. So now I can pass my version of React. Oh, what a joke. Okay, get app React. Oops, don't want that. Okay, and then app needs to have another script. React create element script. Oops. Nonce and source is or type module, and source is client.js. There we go. So we got that, and oh, yes. So then this needs to say, where's my thing here? We're gonna switch. Get slash. Okay, and then case get client.js, then import fs from fs. Yeah, read file sync and break. Okay, I think that should work. Cool. We're waiting on something. Pending on app.js. Oh, whoops. There we go. We got 404s on those things. Cool. So then we'll do case app.js app. Boom. Look at that. Cool. Okay, so let's look at this. I actually expected a hydration error there, so I'm kind of curious what happened. Oh, you know what? I'll bet you we're not getting the hydration error because this is not, or this is the built version of React. I need the development version. Rats. ESM. I want to do like as few tools as possible. Maybe I can do UMD after all. Node modules, React, UMD, React dot development .js. Node modules, React, yeah. Okay, and then over here, we're going to have a default that says find file from URL. Sure, okay. You've had your fun. Let's close this up. Okay. I'm just kind of morbidly curious how far this thing is going to go. Oop. What? What? Aw, man. Okay, so pretty much just care about JavaScript here. File path is going to equal that file exists if otherwise yeah, we're just going to say we're only serving JavaScript here. Okay. Does not provide a named export default. Oh, we can't. Huh. Well, we got module that doesn't have anything on it. Well, that's interesting. Well, let's look at Okay. Try that on for size. Yeah, there we go. All right. There it is. Okay, cool. So that's good. Now we don't rely on that third-party service that's doing who knows what. Okay, so let's go to app. And what if we do good app. Pass nonce. React create element, or here, pass nonce. Yep, there we go. So this is actually the bad app. And the good app does not pass the nonce. Or here, let's do this instead. Pass nonce rec.url. New URL. That's not going to work. No, we want, hold on, split. Okay, so if we say pass nonce, then in here, nonce equals document, get element by ID nonce, not text content. What did I do? Yeah, text content. Okay, sweet. So, where'd, oh, oh, that's interesting. Oh, I messed up. Const, yep. Path, name, or URL path, and search params. Get pass nonce. Or we'll just say has pass nonce. Okay, cool. So then this can be URL path. Cool. And instead of putting that in there, let's do data, or you know what, script This is, I think, sort of what Twitter is doing. So maybe I'm about to learn something, because they've got a script ID nonce. Nonce CSP. What the? Maybe I shouldn't stream this bit, because it could have my personal Twitter data. Let me just move this over here just really quick. What in the world? Okay, I guess that was just too much. Anyway, it's got this non-CSP thing. And then maybe, hold on a second. Let's try that again. Yeah, what the heck is that for? I'm not sure. It's not the first thing on the page with the nonce, so I don't know what it's for. And the only time nonce shows up is when it's an attribute of an element, so I'm not sure what that thing's for. Okay, I got distracted by Twitter. Okay. I have no idea how or what that is for, but for what we're doing, we've got this pass nonce. The content is going to be window.nonce or CSP nonce equals nonce. Okay, cool. And then our client will just be like, oh, okay, I'll just grab that. Window.csp nonce. So then we come over here. Let's get rid of that. Nonce is not defined. Oh, right. Here, we'll have that default to true. Prop ID did not match. That's weird. That's not what I expected. Undefined equals undefined. What's that all about? Oh, whoops. I'm confused. Oh. Dangerously set inner HTML. Okay, yeah, then we say pass nonce. Oh, right, and this is going to need a nonce. There we go. So this is the bug that I have in Remix because I am passing my nonce through the loader. But that is a problem because now we've got the nonce inside of this script. So they wouldn't be able to access it from the JavaScript environment, like the Chrome extension. Wouldn't be able to access it from the JavaScript runtime environment because it doesn't have access, like they're isolated. But they both have access to the DOM, and so it could easily just go be like, oh, okay, let's look for document window nonce CSP. Yep, there's that script, and I can parse out the nonce there, and now I can inject my own script. So that's not going to work. Okay, so yeah, this is a problem. We can't pass the nonce to the client. There's the only way to pass the nonce to the client is by sticking it in the JavaScript. No, like even then, if it's in, it would have to be in a JavaScript file. It cannot appear in the DOM anywhere. Okay, so that being the case, I think the correct thing here is we don't pass the nonce, and then our app or our client would say not pass a nonce at all. Window CSP nonce. There we go. Okay, I'm confused. This should not be. Huh. Why is this script getting rendered? Oh, because I default pass nonce to true. That's right. We're gonna remove that default. There we go. Okay, so this is, yeah, this is what should not happen. We should not, because this is the way that it should work. You don't render it with a nonce on the client. Yeah, so we shouldn't get this warning. This is the error. And then I can say, if you want to, look at pass nonce. This is what some people are doing, and they end up with this error, which is really bad because it means that the client has the nonce, and if the client has the nonce, it probably got it from the DOM, and nefarious Chrome extensions can get it from the DOM too. Very unlikely that anybody is getting that nonce any other way. Very unlikely, like extremely unlikely. In fact, there's no way, because the only way you could safely get the nonce into the JavaScript runtime is by having a separate script. So it's a script source equals script URL that somehow knew the nonce for whoever's requesting it, which is impossible. The only way to get the nonce is from within the HTML. So this warning is always bad. And this warning is also always bad. So handle nonce hydration warnings better. Okay, so let's add a README. The nonce hydration issues. This daemon is a super simple demonstration. This is as simple as this is an example of nonce hydration issues. It's as simple as possible. No build tools. To demonstrate the issue. How to run, yeah, how to run. Dev node watch dot. And we'll bring in cross env. You know what? Forget that. We don't need cross env. We'll just hard code that. Port. Open. And check out the console. You'll see the following error. This warning is wrong because you should not be able to provide, let's see, you know what? What if we did this? That gets rid of it. Okay. So, in my app, let's look for so if, yeah, I've got that reversed. If we're running on the server, then we can get the nonce. Otherwise, we don't want it. So this is actually going to get rid of the warning. I'm pretty confident. Yeah. So if I think I'm running still. Yeah. Nonce warning gone. Okay, so that's how you solve nonce warnings. Now the question is, Okay. Sorry, I got distracted again. So I'm thinking that anything that supports a nonce should default. No, so the nonce here should not default. I should, in here, nonce should be that. There we go. So we're good there. And then if I pass nonce, then I get the error that I get in Remix. Okay, yeah. So I got rid of the issue on my site. So now the question is, should I still file an issue? I think I should, because what I'm saying is, at least for React. For Remix, we got to figure out something. But for React, okay. I think I have another break. There it is. Yeah, another break. So I'm going to take that break. Sorry, I kept getting distracted by Twitter. I'm having a conversation with a friend. But I'm pretty sure I still want to open an issue on React to say, hey, we could improve this warning quite a bit to help people not make a big mistake. And then I need to open an issue on Remix to make it so that there's an easy way to not send data over the wire. Yeah, to have data that's only available on the server render and not on the client render. So see you after the break. here we are. I know what I'm gonna do. Let's do this. Pass nonce is, yep. No nonce. Okay, I'm just trying to think how I can demonstrate the different errors. No, if you go to, then you'll see the following error. This is what happens when the server hydrates or includes all the data that the server render includes the data that needs to be hydrated, because that data often includes okay, I've got to go to my default prettier settings. Prettier, where's prettier? Prettier, wrap. Always. Thank you. Because that data often includes the nonce attribute, the client render has access to it and renders the script with the nonce. This is this causes the warning and is even more problematic because it signifies a security issue. It causes the warning is because the browser clears the nonce to prevent XSS attacks and browser extension attacks. Inserting scripts into the page. The security vulnerability is that if the client JavaScript has access to the nonce, the only way it could get access is via the server rendered DOM, which browser extensions would have access to. Eliminating the security benefit of nonce. Okay. For an example of a really common solution to this problem, go to, okay. This is resolved. Here, let's do this. Yeah, so we can get rid of that. By setting passing as the nonce to script tags. This is not as far on the client, but not the server. As far as this works because the browser will clear the nonce value automatically before any JavaScript can run, provided the nonce value matches the CSP nonce value. So when the client hydrates, the nonce is empty and passing for the nonce value on the client matches what the browser did to it. However, most people don't solve the problem this way. Instead, they either use suppress hydration warning, this is a really bad idea, as illustrated here. Not great, because it could hide actual issues for inline scripts especially. Suggested solutions. Update the error messages to explain the problem and solution. The error and instead should be set to an empty string when client rendering. Maybe something like Yeah, let's see what Copilot has to say. Or just ignore alternatively, you could just not warn about the extra nonce attribute at all. Okay. And the other warning, come on, Copilot. Prop nonce did not match. Error message could be updated, explain the issue with nonce. Maybe something like, make certain to not send the nonce value not to the client in the DOM anywhere other than in the nonce attribute of scripts and links. Whatever we do, we definitely want to make sure people are aware this is a serious security vulnerability. Okay, there we go. You can test this out by opening app or client.js. And adding nonce to the props passed to the app component. And you do this, you'll notice the warning disappears. Okay, there we go. Oops. Get create nonce, what did I call it up here? Hydration issues. go node modules get ignore. Whoops. I'm the first to start it. Booyah. 18.2.0 render server render your app with a nonce in script tags and hydrate those tags with either no nonce prop or with or without the nonce prop, and observe warnings that are insufficient to describe that insufficiently describe the seriousness of security vulnerabilities. Okay, and how to fix them. Oop. Most of the issue is described in the README for the project, but we've got 2 warnings that could be improved. In the case of the client hydrating without the nonce, because it correctly doesn't know what the nonce value is, the warning should be either removed or improved to explain you should pass an empty string for the nonce value to match what the browser did to it. In the case of the client hydrating with the nonce, because it incorrectly does know what the nonce value is, the warning should explain that they have a security vulnerability that should be fixed by because it should be impossible for the client to know what the actually, because if the client hydration code knows what the nonce value is, then attackers could know as well. We get warnings about extra nonce prop or a mismatch of the nonce value, which are insufficient. Okay, and video walkthrough. I'm gonna update this once my stream is over. I'll update this to I'm live streaming this now, and here's my walkthrough of the problem. Okay, and let's see, and t equals, we're about 1 hour 57 minutes. Okay, so having created that, let me explain and walk you through the issue. So here's my nonce test. It's not running, so this is the repo you're going to want to have installed. So npm install and all that stuff. Then npm run dev, and that gets us running on localhost 3333. By default, we will see extra attribute from server nonce. We can see we have nonce properties or attributes in the output here. If I look at the source, I see the nonce values there. Of course, they're changing every time. But if I look at the Elements tab, the nonce has been cleared, and that's a security feature of the browser, because if it left those there, then a Chrome extension would be able to reach in and grab that from the shared DOM and then insert scripts that have nefarious purposes or whatever that would actually run. And so that's not good. We don't want that. Oh, and another important aspect to this is we also have a content security policy that specifies the nonce. So when you have the content security policy that has the nonce and you have the same nonce on these script tags, then those will get ripped out by the browser before any JavaScript can evaluate for that security reason. The reason that we're getting this warning is that we have these extra attributes from the server, but then when we're hydrating, our client-side code doesn't know what the nonce is, and so it doesn't add that prop. So the way that this is written, this is, I think, what most people would probably do, and then they'd see this warning and they'd change what they do, which is really bad. So we get the app. It's a little bit convoluted because I have no tools in here. It's very, very, very basic. It's literally just Node and React. Yeah, so we get the app component. We've got our script tag. We have our nonces here. So this is our component. We accept that nonce. Now, because the client doesn't know what the nonce value is, normally this would actually not be written like this. Normally it would be written, yeah, probably just like that. We wouldn't pass any nonce value at all. But because the client doesn't know what the nonce value is, it's going to end up passing no nonce. And so these nonce props are going to be undefined, and so no value there. This is technically fine, but it leads to this warning that people are going to want to make go away. And so the proper way to make this go away would be to say, okay, if there's no nonce, then I'll just say nonce is an empty string, and now the warning goes away because the nonce prop is still there, just like what happens when the browser gets rid of it, gets rid of the actual value. But this is not what most people do. Most people do not just pass an empty string for the nonce, or at least I wouldn't expect most people to do that. What most people are going to do is they're going to say, oh, well, I got it. Like, hydration warnings mean that the client doesn't have stuff that the server needs. And so what I'm going to do instead is I will pass the nonce value in some sort of script tag that sets some global variable, just like I do with the rest of the data that I need for hydration. So this is not good because, and I can demonstrate this. So we have this pass nonce, and now we're passing the nonce. This is super, super bad because now, even though the nonces get cleared out, that nonce value is available in the DOM, and so any Chrome extension could read that and then inject any script that they wanted to that would be evaluated. They can grab tokens and all of that stuff. And so the first warning led people to this solution, and now they're getting this warning and they're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And there's not actually a great solution to this other than, again, just saying, okay, well, we'll go with this instead. Whoop, right there. And now we've got like all kinds of things. So like there's actually not really a good solution to this. I suppose they would also potentially say pass nonce, nonce, false, or true. And so now we still have that. Yeah, I don't know. Like I think that I'm pretty sure there's a way to do this, but like anyway, they would eventually get to a place where they are hydrating with the nonce value, and that's not okay, not at all. So the first warning leads them to passing the nonce in the client, which is really bad. The second warning could actually be improved to say, hey, clearly you have some nonce value here. That is super not okay. Don't do that. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. And there we go. Hopefully, I wonder what happens since I haven't actually ended the stream. Where'd that issue go? Did I not? No. Where's that issue? There it is. What you were missing out is, while you can't access it from here, you can by calling script nonce. The browser doesn't clear it, just prevents reading it from outside the script itself. Well, I agree that if there was no nonce from the server, we shouldn't have to pass an empty string. Oh, please read the Discord chat. Thank you. Aha, sorry, I totally missed that. Okay, so I would be able to access it just within the script that has the nonce. So I could say this as, I know there's a way to access the node for the currently running script. How to access the DOM node for the currently running script. Document current script. Document current script nonce. Okay, let's see what that does. Well, that doesn't appear to work. It's just script, really? Script is not defined. No, I'm not. Maybe document script. No. Yeah, that's not working. Yeah, I don't. I mean, the fact is, you wouldn't want to set the nonce anyway, because as soon as it shows up in the DOM, then a Chrome extension would be able to grab it. Yeah, the client should not know what the. Yeah, I will reply here. Even if you can access the nonce from the JS code, you shouldn't render the actual nonce value anywhere in the DOM, because as soon as you do, it is going to open you up to cross-site scripting vulnerabilities. So anyway, I think that this warning could be improved, and I can't believe I spent my entire morning working on reporting this. Okay, so moving on from this, now we got to talk about the fact that my soles are causing me pain. My sole inserts or whatever. And I don't know what the problem is, but these have just been an enormous pain. I have bought like countless of these. It's so frustrating. I've tried so many things. I should go to a special shoe fitting store or something. Okay, so moving on. Sorry that I totally missed your comments here. I should have had this open the whole time. Yeah, okay. So let's talk about how we're gonna officially fix this on my site. So getting rid of the warning is one thing, but I am passing this in the remix context. There it is, CSP nonce. Not good that this is the case. So I need to make it so that this nonce does not get serialized. And I don't think that I can do that myself. Yeah. Now I gotta think how to make a minimal reproduction of that. I guess we do something similar to this. So let's do this. npx create remix. Nonce remix vulner or issue. Just the basics. Remix app server is fine. TypeScript. What do you think I am? Some Neanderthal? Just kidding. It was useful for React because I know they're always like, make it minimal. We don't care about your tools. And I like doing that when I can. But since I've got to have this tool anyway, may as well just use the TypeScript stuff. That's not going to make it any more complicated. All right, let's see here. Yeah, this is the solution. You just set the nonce. So like we can still have the nonce value. It'll just be an empty string instead of what the nonce actually is. And I think I might be able to hack something together to make that work. But basically, I need something. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll still probably open an issue about this, but I'm gonna say nonce equals that, and then delete. Boom. Do the same thing in here. Boom. Check this out. That did not work. Oh, yeah, that's right. That won't work because yeah, that's how my UI gets the nonce. Ah, dang it. Oh, rats. Okay, so that's not gonna work. Still don't know what to do there. Window remix context. And I cannot just do an easy find replace type thing. Yeah, I got all kinds of windows here. Let's get rid of that stuff. This we can set over there. We'll get back to that. Okay, so remix or nonce remix issue. All right, here we go. Now I go to here, or entry server. Sweet, and it's got streaming all set up. That's handy. In the browser request, we're gonna say response headers. Dot set content security. Here, let's figure out our nonce first. Const nonce equals math.random. Come on, do the rest. Thank you. And then say nonce. And then we say response headers. Thank you. And then yeah, we don't pass the nonce there. We need that to be on the remix context. So yeah, the easiest way to do that, typically you would do this with Express. You can't do this currently with the APIs that they have. Rats, I should have done the Express thing. That's okay. We'll hack this together. Remix context dot loader. Let's see. Okay, no, we can't. We're gonna make a new one. Man. All right. So I'll bring it back. Nonce remix issue. Just the basics. Express server. Yes. All right, see nonce remix issue. Okay, now our server can have get static context thing or get load context nonce math.random. Okay. Let's do this instead. Okay, cool. So now our entry server, or our root, can have a loader. And this can get our context, nonce, CSP nonce. We'll just call it nonce. There we go. There we go. And then we have also res header set header yeah, okay, we're gonna move this. Why did I just do that? I don't know. Oh, actually, hold on. Back it up. Back it up. Back, 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 back. Yeah, we're gonna do this a more typical way. Am I supposed to be on break? I don't hear any music. Yeah, I'm on break. Whoops. Yeah, I will return after break. See you soon. That's the wrong one. This is the right break. Okay. I'm thinking the reason that this didn't work is because I was in a, yep, does not work in modules. So, which I think there's a good reason for that. So, yes, let's look at this. In here, we're going to say app.use rec res next, and rec locals nonce math.random, all this stuff. And then this is going to get, what does the get load context get? Rec and res. And the nonce will just be the rec locals nonce. Okay, so then that works, and this, yeah, the way that I'm getting it right now, nonce is remix context dot route, nope, loader, or static loader data root nonce. Okay, and then here, let's close down my server. Where is my server? Yep. Oh, I forgot. One other thing we want to do. We say res head, set header. Yep, that's what I wanted. Thank you. Cannot set property of undefined setting nonce. I thought maybe it's res locals. There we go. Okay, cool. So, refuse to execute script. We've got the nonce there. And the script, which script is complaining? This one? Oh. Links should probably have nonce too. Yeah, we want self. There we go. Okay. So we've got our nonce, and it's in the client. If type of document not equal undefined, and there's nonce, we're gonna alert. I gotcha, nonce. I gotcha, nonce. Okay, so remix, nonce remix issue. In remix, it doesn't appear to be possible to have a nonce attribute on script tags without exposing that value to the to use remix or React for UI rendering and have an nonce attribute. Yep. And without exposing that value to the client, which exposes remix applications to cross-site scripting attacks. In this example, we're using Express to set create the nonce value, set the header for the CSP, and then pass, hold on a second. Instead of doing that in the server, we're going to do that in here. There we go. That should still work. Gotcha nonce. It's interesting that it happens twice. I wonder why it happens twice. Oh, because it's, yeah, that's a re-render. Yeah, that's stupid. React use effect. Now that only happens on the client. Still is happening twice. Huh. Got it. Huh. Why is it happening twice? Oh, that's right, because React is dumb and runs your effects twice. Ugh, that is so aggravating. I'm gonna disable this because it's annoying. Let's see, we're using Express to set the nonce value and pass that in via get loader context. Then we use that in our root loader to pass it to our root element so we can render the scripts and things with the nonce value. Unfortunately, this means we then extract that from the root loader data in our handle document request, so we can place it or pass it to and set it in our CSP header. Sending the nonce through the loader to the UI means that the nonce exposed to the client, which exposes us to SSX attacks. On top of this, it also leads to React hydration warnings. Related issue. It's interesting it's not giving me hydration warnings. I would expect it to give me hydration warnings. Oh, right. Which is why Remix uses suppress hydration warning on all its scripts, which it really should not do. Suggested solution. I'm not sure what the best solution is here. I'm thinking there needs to be a mechanism, maybe specifically for this use case, or maybe something more general, that allows us to mark values in our loader as server only, so they never reach the client. If you're not streaming, then you could do a fancy find replace thing on the generated HTML before sending it to the client. So the nonce could be something like type of document undefined, nonce replacer, and then you do a replace all before sending that to the client. However, that won't work with streaming. Either that, it should be noted that we can't just come up with a solution that works for Remix components only, because people render their own script tags all the time. So it needs there needs to be a way for people to pass a nonce to the server side React components in a way that it doesn't get into the client side data. Demo. Feel free to run the demo. It'll pop open a alert if, yeah, that's it. Yep, get create. Okay. impossible to avoid sending a to avoid using a nonce without sending it to the client, or without opening, or without making it accessible by without access vulnerability. There we go. 1.11.0. I've created a demo. Basically, create a project that exposes a nonce, renders, it uses nonce CSP, and try to ensure the nonce is both available for the server render, but not available for the client hydration. I'd like a mechanism that allows me to mark specific data as not able to be passed to the client. All data sent by the load. The only way to get data into the UI on the server is through the loader. Everything the loader sends to the server on the server also goes to the client. Therefore, the nonce we need for the server UI makes it into the client, opening us up to vulnerabilities, or which basically makes a nonce CSP worthless, makes us lose all benefits of a nonce CSP. Okay, there we go. Just occurred to me that this might be the sort of thing that I shouldn't be live streaming about, like proper disclosure of security vulnerabilities and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, probably should have done this not on stream, but I mean, we were pretty far in when I realized what was going on. Sorry. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and I'm live streaming this now, so feel free. Oh yeah, I was gonna check. Does this work since I'm live streaming currently? And oh yeah, totally does. Cool. To watch me demo the issue. So that's gonna be this copy. Clean link. Yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I like clean stuff. 2 hours, 42 minutes and 40 seconds. Okay, so here's the deal. We've got, this, nope, not that one. The remix aspect of all this. So it is not possible, as far as I can find or tell, to use a content security policy that uses a nonce and avoid sending that nonce to the client, which basically undoes the whole purpose of the nonce. So I'm just using Express here. I have this little tiny middleware that sets a nonce so that I can use that in get load context, which I pass here. And then in my entry server, or actually in my root, I use that context to get the nonce so that I can pass it to my UI. So the UI can pass that nonce to these scripts, which, by the way, links probably also needs a nonce as well for like anything that that you want to prefetch. Yeah, that if you want to prefetch something as a script, then that thing is going to need a nonce. So there's, yeah, something there. Maybe the links function should accept context or something like that, so you can use nonce. I don't know, but I haven't run into that yet, but that is something somebody will probably need. Anyway, so I have to have the nonce in my component so I can pass it to these. The problem is that everything that goes into use loader data ends up in the client, or anything that's returned by the loader ends up in the client, which means my nonce gets into the client. And then, of course, on the entry server, I have to get that nonce from the remix context. This is kind of diving into like pseudo private APIs, so I don't really like this a lot. If that could be changed in the process of all of this, that would be super. But I need that nonce for the rendered pipeable stream, and also for setting the content security policy header. So with all of that set up, you can come in here to localhost 3000, and we'll see I got your nonce. And every time, boom, we get the nonce every time. Now, you might think, oh, but Kent, like that's not that big of a deal because it's just inside of JavaScript memory. How bad could that be? Well, no, it's not just inside JavaScript memory. It's inside of our loader data, which is easily accessible on window remix context .state loader data .root .nonce. Boom, there it is. And so that actually is not how Chrome extensions would get access to it. The way they would do it is look for the script tag, and then they'd be able to parse that out to get it. It wouldn't be very difficult. And so, yeah, we've got the, that's actually why browsers will remove the nonce value if that nonce value matches the CSP nonce, because they don't want anything that can access the DOM, like browser extensions, to be able to access it and inject any script that they want. So that's what the problem is. I don't know of any way to do this. Like maybe there's some sort of, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea the proper way to do this. Now, if I wasn't streaming, then it actually would be pretty easy. You just instead say, if we're on the server, type of document is undefined, then nonce replacer, otherwise empty string, and then you do a find replace on the generated HTML. But because we're streaming, we might get a chunk that has the first part of nonce in one chunk and then the rest of it in the other. So you can't replace that. You can't rely on find replace for that. So anyway, like I said earlier, I probably shouldn't, if I had realized what I was doing as I was creating this report, I probably would have stopped and disclosed this more responsibly, because this is sort of a security vulnerability. There are sites that are deployed with Remix that are trying to keep their sites safe from cross-site scripting. So sorry if this causes any like negative impact, but hopefully we can get this fixed soon so we can have safer sites. So anyway, I'm happy to chat about solutions to this. But yeah, hope that is helpful. Okay, so that is that. I think I am done doing this nonsense. Oh, and also, defer does not support nonce, and so I had to add a bunch of nonce stuff to defer components, which was kind of not my favorite. And so I'm going to use patch package right now to do that. Patch and I put those in a special place so they don't trouble me. Whoops. And we're going to patch remix run react. And coming over here. Yeah, actually, let's do that. URL too long. Oh, man. Well, that's too bad. Maybe the patch is like really big or something. Oh, man. The patch showed up here. Bad place for the patch. My mistake for copy pasting stuff. Mux. Okay, other patches. Okay, so we put the nonce there, we put the nonce there, just nonces all over the place. Just nonsense. There we go. Cool. Git add force other patches. Okay, and let me just double check the diff. And I can, yep, and this is how I currently avoid the hydration issues, because yeah, the client has the nonce, and so it's able to set that nonce to a value, but before hydration, the browser's already removed the nonce, and so the React is like, the client has the nonce, the server does not. There's a mismatch here. And so, yeah, as soon as the client, the solution would be to somehow have this nonce be a value on the server and an empty string on the client. That's the solution. And yeah, and then I was able to turn back my strict dynamic stuff. So, good stuff. Commit, re-enable nonce, sorta. I shouldn't have verified that. We should probably verify stuff. Okay, there we go. So now I'm gonna go have lunch. So thanks everybody for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the future. Bye.